What up, what up? Mr. Hip Hop Vegan. Hopefully everybody's doing well. And today what I want to talk about today is Sean Hannity and about his show. I think he's going insane, like for real going insane. I'm going to put the video at the end. So I'm going to make this quick so you can watch the video. The video that I'm going to put up is a quick video too. But he's a disgrace to television. He's a disgrace to a human being. He's a disgrace for even a news anchor or whatever he does or whatever talk show he has. Sean Hannity has to be the worst of the worst. They were debating, talking about what they were talking about, like inequality and blacks and stuff like that, and then getting arrested and stuff like that. And then the Trayvon Martin case came up, and he actually was on George Zimmerman's side. I live here in Florida, and I was following the case and seeing the whole case, and it's bullshit to me. And he said that it was right for George Zimmerman because of how the court case went and how the judicial system pled him not guilty because we're proven you're proven innocent. You know you're innocent before guilty. That type of bullshit. But at the end of the day, that case wasn't even. That the judgment at the end and them jurors at the end for saying that George Zimmerman was not guilty was crazy. I mean, the kid is 17 years old. Is he a perfect kid? No. I haven't met one kid who haven't done wrong when they were young. We do stupid shit when we're young. We steal from the stores. We just do stupid shit. We might sneak out the house. We might talk back. But it comes to a time where you don't condemn him because of his past mistakes. And that day, George Zimmerman got out his car when the girl on the phone, or the guy, I think it was the guy on the phone, when he was talking to the dispatcher, told him not to get out the car. So what he do? He went and chased after Trayvon Martin, and at that point, all you hear is different, like a scuffle or whatever, and at the end, Trayvon Martin ends up dead. What I want to say is, when I was that young, at his age, and somebody approaches me, and accuse me of something, you either run or you be defensive. I don't know what I would have done in that situation, but I'm pretty sure Trayvon Martin got defensive. I think, if I'm not sure, George Zimmerman had at least 100 pounds over him, and you're gonna tell me Trayvon Martin was grounding and pounding him? You're gonna tell me he was banging his head, and then when you watch the pictures, it had nothing to do with that? George Zimmerman's face was okay, and you talking about he was grounding and pounding? George Zimmerman shouldn't be in that situation in the first place. The guy told him not to get out his car, and he ran anyways. And it's sad when a person like Sean Hannity has to make a video or just on his talk show and said he's okay with George Zimmerman killing a kid. A 17-year-old kid who wasn't doing anything wrong, who was just going back to his complex after leaving the store during All-Star Weekend. And the bullshit about that whole case is they made a big deal about the Skittles. They made a big deal about his friend, I think it was Chantel or whatever, I think was her name, about how bad she did in the courtroom. That's what they all brought up, his iced tea and shit like that. But at the end of the day, he's a son. His father's, he lost, the parents lost a young son. Nobody's perfect. You can say what he's doing out there. Kids at 17 can go to the store and buy stuff. And for Sean Hannity, whatever kids he got, and if they're facing the same situation, they're probably gonna be bitches or either run or something's gonna happen to them. And if that was his kids and they got shot by George Zimmerman, the verdict would have been different. And the only reason why, after years, I'm bringing this up because Sean Hannity brought it up, and I think he's the worst, and he's a piece of shit. And I don't care what happens to him or his kids or his family. I don't like it. That's white supremacy at its best. You feel me? That's white supremacy at its best. You can say I'm light-skinned. I come from a Latino background, Dominican Republic, or whatever. But facts are facts. When you're ignorant, you're ignorant. You study, you read history, and all through time, they name schools after George Washington. You send your black kids to a school called George Washington when George Washington was a motherfucking slave owner. You send them to school called Andrew Jackson when Andrew Jackson was a slave owner and killed blacks. He even killed Indians. So imagine Indians going to a school named Andrew Jackson after their murderer. A person who killed mad Indians and just they kind of like they just colonize the whole fucking USA, and you're gonna tell me that white supremacy is not still formed in this day today, and you're gonna tell me that Trayvon Martin shooting was justified? And that's bullshit, Sean Hannity. At the end of the day, fuck you and fuck all what you stand for with that white supremacy talk. And I got a lot of white friends, and I got everything. We most a mix of stuff like that. But when truth is the truth, you should just stop talking. I'm gonna put the video at the end. This is a touchy subject. Even during that whole Trayvon Martin case, it really hurt in my heart because it's a young son, a young kid, and shit happens. You feel me? People are not perfect. And he didn't have a time to even grow to be the man that he was supposed to be, to see what he was going to be and grow up. Because you have a bitch ass fuckface George Zimmerman thinking he was a police officer, or not, and he wasn't even supposed to be there. Subscribe to my channel, watch the video next, and thank you for watching.
Talks about high-profile racial incidents like Ferguson and Cambridge and Florida and Trayvon Martin and speaks out about Freddie Gray, but doesn't talk about black-on-black crime and how many young children of God are being killed.
We don't talk about white-on-white crime. We don't talk about white-on-white crime.
We should, but it doesn't advance his narrative.
But why don't you, though? I mean, and President Obama has talked about black-on-black crime. Michelle Obama actually gave
barely hear about it. Never hear about it.
Now you're saying barely. Which one do you want to believe, Sean?
You know the name of one.
Never.
Give me the name of one. Give me the name of one kid in Chicago.
You said never. Now you went to barely.
Give me the name of one kid that's been shot and killed in Chicago in the last year.
Is it never or barely, Sean?
Okay. Name one kid who's been shot in Chicago. Wait a minute. In the last year. Name one.
Why don't you answer my question?
How about this?
I can't remember a single incident.
How about this? You get two people that shoot each other.
Three-time loser.
You get one kid that runs up into a school and kills 32 people.
Right.
Big deal.
White-on-white crime, black-on-black crime.
Colorado,
let's take it away from being a racist.
We don't want to talk about that.
And look at it as being an issue that needs to be addressed.
And the president shouldn't rush to judgment on high-profile race incidents where he's a three-time loser. Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown.
I disagree with the three-time loser statement. I totally disagree with that. I totally disagree with that. So you're saying
he rushed to judgment.
You mentioned George Zimmerman. So you're saying George Zimmerman was right?
Absolutely. George Zimmerman.
Are you? Oh my God, you're defending George Zimmerman?
I'm defending the verdict.
Your credibility has gone out the window like
finish?
Baby in the bathwater.
Maybe you don't believe in a person being innocent until proven guilty.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that racism has totally been eradicated in this country?
No, absolutely not. But let me finish. There was an eyewitness in the Trayvon Martin case that saw Trayvon Martin on top of George Zimmerman, grounding and pounding.
George Zimmerman first.
Are you going to let me finish?
No.
Are you going to let me finish?
After George Zimmerman.
Let me finish. Grounding and pounding his head into cement, and George Zimmerman screaming for his life at the top of his lungs. That resulted in the verdict as it came down. And I trust the jury system, and I believe on those circumstances he believed his life was in jeopardy, and facts and evidence are different than rushing to judgment like our constitutional president does.
I agree with you. That notwithstanding, you have to admit to the fact that the judicial system has its own racist components.
There's
when
some.
15%, African Americans only comprise 15% of the U.S. population. Of that 15%, a small portion are African American males. Of that,
I will
50% are incarcerated.
Concede your point that there is. You could use the crack cocaine, powder cocaine argument, and I think you're absolutely right. Same drug, different form. You have different communities, different drugs, and it is the same thing. And I think there's inequality in the criminal justice system. Conceding the point.
That needs to be corrected.